seated. Good evening and welcome to the chapter that concludes our story at Abington Heights High School. My name is Marissa Sunnick, President of the Student Council, and I am honored to be up here representing the graduating class of 2018. To the administration at Abington Heights, families, and friends, thank you. Without your kindness, encouraging words, and guidance, none of us would be here today. To Mr. Snyder, Mrs. Tioni, and Mr. Lemoncelli, thank you for believing in all of us and dedicating your time to make this evening as special as it is. As I welcome you all here today to the home of the Comets, let us all remember the beautiful moments that have been made and shared in this very stadium. The smiles and cheers in the bleachers, the joy of the band, the excitement and thrill of the game, all of which define us and unite us as one. These memories make us a family, and they will last a lifetime. So as each name is called, I hope you all reflect on each other's achievements and memories of one another. We've made it this far as a class, and we've learned to grow as one. This is the beginning of the rest of our lives, and whether we see each other again or not, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything, and I wish all of you the very best and brightest in your futures to come. We are a family. We are AH. Thank you and welcome. May all of your futures be filled with happiness. May all of your biggest dreams become realities.
Senior choir members, please join the concert choir at this time. At this time, would everyone please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, National Anthem, and Alma Mater. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
Bright stars through the perilous fight.
Now you can be seated.
Good evening. My name is Liam Neary, and I would first like to congratulate the class of 2018. You have put in a lot of hard work throughout the past 4 years. I am happy to see you all here tonight and wish only the best of luck for you all in the future. Now I am honored to have been tasked with introducing our class president, Mateen Kassim. Mateen has been a class officer for 4 years, and for 4 years he has not stopped. As class officers, we are responsible for planning, preparing, and executing various class-wide events such as fundraisers, dances, and other fun events. Throughout the year, we spend hours upon hours making sure everything goes as planned. We all do. But Mateen is a step of everyone on everything. Where the other officers are working hard on what should happen, Mateen is working on what should happen while at the same time working just as meticulously on the solution to the surprises that may come our way. For him, it's not questioning what could go wrong, but planning for when it does go wrong. Because of his commitment to the class, we have been able to accomplish all we've set out to do, and I, along with the other class officers, cannot thank him enough for that. Now, it is one thing to be committed to something, but it is another to display this in all aspects of your life. Mateen is committed to everything he does, whether it is student government, science Olympiad, or any other of his myriad of activities. I can assure you he is putting in the hours, learning and applying his knowledge. Now, Mateen and I have known each other since our days at Waverly Elementary. And since then, I can say there's never been a dull moment, but I've enjoyed every second of it. I am lucky to serve alongside him in the student government, be in as many classes together as we have been, and most of all, to call him one of my best friends. Without further ado, the president of the class of 2018, Mateen Kassim.
Welcome, welcome, welcome friends and family, welcome faculty and staff, welcome proud community members, welcome Abington Heights class of 2018 to your own graduation. It's a beautiful sight to see this mass of white and blue, and I'm really, truly honored to be able to speak to all of you after all our time together. I remember my first memory at Abington Heights. I walked into first grade on the first day of school at Waverly Elementary and sat down. My mother spent the whole summer teaching me how to read, and as a kid, I liked hugs and making friends. I was a smiley boy, ready for whatever Waverly Elementary could throw at me. Then, Waverly threw Hakik Mirza at me. Hakik and I talked for a minute about whatever first graders like to talk about. Hakik says, "Do you want to be best friends?" I said, "Yeah." And thus was the story about Hakik and I became best friends, and he remains my best friend to this day. Ross Cohen was also a very close friend of mine. When I broke my arm in 4th grade, it's because I was doing quote-unquote stunts off the jungle gym with Ross. It was nice to have a friend who was as non-athletic as I was. Somewhere along the way, I met Penn Wu, who we all miss dearly. Penn was a wonderful, proud boy. We all had a pleasure seeing his orange gym bag and his plush hamburger dude. He called me Matino for reasons I am unaware of. And in 6th grade, Nate Gronsky suggested to me that I create a cereal called Matinos and put Penn in all the commercials. I think Penn went to college in 8th grade, but every once in a while he'll email me or Ian Jewett or Adam Treweek or someone else with a very simple message: "I lost the game." I could go on and on with fun memories, but the individual memories are not what's vitally important. It's the culmination of memories and experiences that really makes an impact on us. We are, in fact, graduating today, if you haven't noticed. We will be official graduates of high school by the end of the day with diplomas in our hands and pride in our hearts. However, I want you all to understand that it's not the piece of paper on that table that will grant you success in your lives. Now I know what you're all thinking, but Mateen, the dream. It's a really fancy piece of paper. It even has my name on it. Now, don't get me wrong. I also love fancy paper. However, the fact that we were entrusted to wield such a powerful piece of paper says something about us. It says that we've worked hard to get that paper, and it says that there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into that. Now, most assignments you've completed and most exams you've taken have been wiped away from memory, but that doesn't mean they didn't happen. There are 180 days per school year and 12 years of grade school. So that adds up to 2,160 days and nights of schoolwork, not including weekends and summer work. That's 2,160 opportunities for you to have stressed yourself out, told yourself that you'll never finish or get past what you were facing, and cried about it. That's also 2,160 opportunities for you to have gotten past whatever you were facing and forgotten about it. However, 365 and 1/4 days per year times 12 years adds up to 4,383 days. That would be the amount of times you had an opportunity to make a memory, to find joy or sorrow, to do something or learn something new that changed who you are fundamentally. That's what this diploma is about. For example, I recall a moment at the 2017 Region 4 Choir Festival, which was likely one of the most influential events of my high school career. We were rehearsing with the wonderful guest conductor, Dr. Christopher Jackson, and at the time we were cleaning up a piece from Mozart's Requiem titled Lacrimosa. Dr. Jackson took a moment to think about his revisions, and upon returning his attention to the choir, he glanced at our pianist and whispered, "Weeping." Now, most people didn't hear him say that, but as I was in the front row, being the 5'4" tenor that I am, I took notice. With one word from the conductor, the piece completely transformed. And if you happen to sneak a peek at me during our total run-through of the piece, you may have noticed me gently weeping. That's the kind of change I'm talking about. And that's the kind of heart and soul that goes into this diploma. That's what it's like to be a comet. So when you're all grown up, taking a look at your old stuff, and you see your high school diploma, I don't want you to think that it's just a piece of paper. I want you to look back on what you've experienced and remember that you've gained so much. Remember the teachers that worked tirelessly to instill in you the lessons you may or may not remember. Remember the friends and family that raised you with more love than they showed themselves. Shout out to my mom, who's the inspiration for that sentence. She's got more love in her heart than she knows what to do with. Remember Pen Wu. Remember pieing a teacher in the face. Remember Stroyan making fun of you. Remember the one soccer goal that was a header. Remember that sentence you wrote in the middle of a mediocre essay that was somehow the best sentence ever written. And most of all, remember the memories that made you who you are today. In terms of valuable experiences, this is a quote from contemporary philosopher, philanthropist, and poet, Chance the Rapper. What's better than tripping is falling in love. What's better than Letterman, Leno Fallow, and all of the above? What's better than popping bottles trying to ball in the club is the first caveman pops with a sun ball in a club. What's better than paper is balling it up. What's better than followers is actually falling in love. What's better than frolicking follies falling in mud, rolling in green pastures, wandering, following love? What's better than eating is feeding your fam? What's better than meetings is missing meetings to meet with your fam? What's better than leaning and needing a hand is hitting your dance dream, and a dream could mean leaving the land? What's better than yellering is hollering love. What's better than rhymes, nickels, dimes, and dollars and dubs is dialing up your darling just for calling her up. It ain't nothing better than falling in love.
Hello, my name is Sienna Rainey, and I'm the historian of the class of 2018. Today, I have received the honor to introduce Mateen for the second time today as salutatorian of the class of 2018. Having met Mateen in middle school, I have known him since then to be endlessly genuine and earnest in his search for knowledge. Mateen's intelligence transcends far beyond academics. His intellect is prevalent in every conversation held, for he seeks not only the complexities in the world before us, but the complexities of us, of every human being he encounters. His remarkable empathy is what guides him in this quest, and I believe I am right in saying that Mateen has some somehow made a positive impact in each student of the class of 2018, whether as a classmate, class president, or simply as a friend. Mateen's interpersonal intelligence travels seamlessly between social group. He has the capacity to befriend any person and deeply understand each one of them. He understands that some of the most fruitful learning takes place outside of the classroom setting. His brilliance within both academics and social circles is something I and the class of 2018 have been privileged to witness, and I am sure he will be incredibly successful in his endeavors at the University of Pittsburgh studying neuroscience. Please join me in giving another warm welcome to our salutatorian, Mateen Kasim.
Thank you very much, Sienna, and thank you for your introduction earlier, Liam and Erie. Hello, friends and family. Hello, faculty and staff. Hello, proud community members. Hello, Abington Heights, class of 2018. It is a beautiful sight to see this mass of white and blue, and I'm really, truly honored to be able to speak to all of you after all our time together. Here's the thing. We don't know much. And it's not just us either. Most people are severely limited in their knowledge of our universe. So here's a proposition to find out much more than we already know. If, theoretically, we were able to know the exact placement, velocity, and direction of every single particle in the universe, we would be able to know exactly how every single particle interacts with the others. Because we would know that, we would be aware of their next interactions after that, so on and so forth. Cumulatively, our knowledge of every particle and every atom in the universe would allow us to know everything that will ever happen from now on, because we know exactly where every particle currently is and exactly where they will be. Interesting thought, but at its very core, it's stupid. Here's why. Scientifically, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle prohibits us from certainly knowing too many fundamental values of a particle simultaneously, such as its position or momentum. Basically, we can't know where a particle is and know how fast it's moving at the same time. However, science aside, there's an almost spiritual rebuttal to this universal knowledge argument. If the interactions of all particles, atoms, and molecules are already determined by their current states, how do we have any control over our lives? Do we at all? Or are we heading towards a future that has to happen? God's plan, destiny, probability, whatever you want to call it. Furthermore, how could we possibly think independent thoughts? If the interactions of all particles are predictable upon collision, how could we possibly be able to think and set off a chain reaction of electricity within our brains? How could we possibly decide where particles are going to move if we ourselves are made of those very same predictable particles? Back to science with an answer to everything, right? The answer my science side will give you to all of these questions is, I don't know. Nobody knows. It's sometimes easy to believe that we are just a chain reaction of synapses molded by experience and habit. Say it with me now. I am just a chain reaction of synapses molded by experience and habit. Doesn't feel too natural, does it? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but that's the beauty of the unknown, and that's where you come in, fellow classmates. The unknown is humanity's best friend, whether we realize it or not. The unknown gives meaning to everything we do. We yearn to try new things because they are unknown. We delve into literature, the sciences, and the arts because there are facts we have yet to learn, thoughts we have yet to think, and emotions we have yet to feel. We fear our own death because it is the point where knowledge ceases to exist, a tunnel we cannot see across. We turn to religion because it provides beauty to an unknown that we may not understand independently. We, as the curious humans we are driven forward by the fact that we're still pretty dumb. Therefore, let's say we're not sure that we can actually think our own thoughts, independent of the current states of the particles in our brains. I don't know about you, but that makes me want to think as much as I possibly can. As a kid that wields a brain, it's a little exciting that maybe I'm not supposed to be able to think as independently as I can. I'm supposed to be a product of chance particle collisions, and yet I make so many decisions every single day. I could do something with this. While I'm under the impression that I'm breaking statistics as we know it, I'm going to explore more than I have ever before. And that, class of 2018, is your salutatorian's assignment to you. We are not sure if you're supposed to think the absolutely wild thoughts that you do, but while we're at it, keep going. That unknown territory that I mentioned earlier, oh boy, is that still unknown. I'm telling you explicitly that you all absolutely must go out and do what you want to do. Create art, discover something profound, join an organization or begin a movement, learn more about the universe than the universe knows about you. Go do it because I'm pretty sure you should be able to do it. Ever heard of the little engine that could? I think I can. Well, my wonderful friends, I think you can, and that's probably more than enough. I love you guys. I love Hakik. I love Cameron Vishnesky and the Burks. I love Phoebe and Anthony and Miss Jones and Maggie and Mr. Chopko and Emmers and Miss Seawack and Josh Kadora. I love Abington Heights' class of 2018, and I love the teachers and administration that brought us here today. You all made these past 12 years so fantastic and transformative that I don't even mind that we might be a bunch of predetermined particle collisions. This might be the best set of particle collisions I have ever seen. You got something to be proud of. Congratulations, AH class of 2018. You win.
Good evening. My name is Paige Morgan, and I am the treasurer of the class of 2018. Today, I have the privilege of introducing the member of Abington Heights faculty that will be addressing our class. She is not only the 10th grade honors English teacher, but she teaches a creative writing course as well and runs the high school newspaper. I had the pleasure of taking her class my sophomore year. She brings the classroom to life, making each and every class as meaningful as possible through her optimistic spirit and enthusiasm for writing. On top of being dubbed the smartest person in the English department by one of her colleagues, she has authored multiple books on her teaching styles and her essay writing techniques. She is a nationally board certified teacher, and on top of that, she received her Master of Fine Arts, which is known as the PhD of the writing world. Outside of the classroom, she is an extremely active member of the Clark Summit community. For instance, between her busy schedule as a mom, teacher, and writer, she finds the time to teach the English language to local refugees. This past year, her fellow English department colleague, Cynthia Rowe, nominated her for the 2019 Pennsylvania Teacher of the Year Award through the National Network of State Teacher of the Year and the Pennsylvania State Department of Education. She was recently named one of 12 finalists in the entire state of Pennsylvania, with the winner being announced in Hershey this coming December. Her colleagues and students believe that she is nothing short of incredible. Her former students have described her as selfless, inspirational, and enlightening. She has built her classroom on a foundation of positivity, where there are no wrong answers and no dumb questions. Her fellow teacher, Thomas Lavelle, wrote, "If the success of a teacher is measured by imparting empathy, discovering the human condition, and using learning as a pathway towards happiness, she is the epitome of being a successful teacher." Mark Lemoncelli, one of our assistant principals here at the high school, described her as being one of the most passionate and student-centered teachers that he has worked with in his 23 years of education. Cynthia Rowe said that not a single person could accuse her of not having passion for her subject, and I'm positive that all of her students and fellow teachers here at Abington cannot agree more. As a part of her nomination for Teacher of the Year, she had to describe her philosophy of education in just 40 words. She wrote, "Every student brings unique gifts. The teacher's work is to create a space for each to grow, to wonder, to risk, to connect, to bloom, to become more fully oneself and more deeply human. This is the purpose of education." Her devotion and love for teaching has changed the lives of so many people to come through Abington, including myself. She is one of the most influential people I have met in my lifetime. Her countless accolades cannot come close to describing the person she truly is. I specifically would like to take the time to thank her for being one of, if not the kindest, most well-rounded individuals I have ever met, and for making me a better person through her positivity and happiness both inside and outside the classroom. Not only is it my pleasure, but it is my absolute honor to introduce Abington Heights faculty speaker, Miss Marilyn Pryal.
Thank you, Paige, for that beautiful introduction. You represent the best of your class with your intelligence, grace, and enthusiasm. Thank you. Welcome again, parents, family, and friends, and congratulations to the class of 2018. You are a class of many achievements, great and small, in academics, in sports, in music, in art, in all kinds of extracurricular activities. You have won awards and titles and medals and chocolate bars, and your fame is widespread. The ancient Greeks had a word for this. You might remember this from sophomore year when you read the Iliad. The word is kleos, and it means your glory, your fame, your outstanding deeds, your victory royale. Those are Fortnite players right there. And you, class of 2018, have a great deal of kleos. The stories of your achievements have been told near and far. And now you have a responsibility. Of those to whom much has been given, much is expected. You have these many talents. You have a high school education. You have a family that has supported you and loved you. Now you must give back. The 13th century Sufi poet, Rumi, said, "Let the beauty of what you love be the good that you do." And this is your work. Take your talents and gifts and do good with them in this world. Live your passion. And using your gifts is not the whole story. Because as you use your gifts and achieve things in this world, you are still a person. We hope, right? You are a human being. You must interact with other human beings. This life is a series of human connections. And I would suggest that who you are as a person is even more important than what you achieve. The Greeks had another word that you might remember, xenia. Xenia literally means stranger or other. For the ancient Greeks, xenia meant showing kindness to strangers by way of hospitality. In ancient Greece, there were no Ramada Inns or Hiltons. So showing hospitality to the other was not just a courtesy, but a necessity. This meant welcoming complete strangers into your home, sometimes in the middle of the night, and giving them food and a bath and clothes and a place to sleep. Now, please understand, I'm not suggesting you do that. If a stranger comes to your dorm room in the middle of the night looking for a bath and some clothes, do not let them in. Call 911. I want you to think of xenia in a different way. I want you to think of xenia in an internal way, an emotional way, a xenia of the heart. Xenia means that you show kindness and compassion and presence to people who are other, people who are different from you in some way. Maybe they dress differently or act differently, or, and this can be the hardest one, maybe they think differently than you. Can you make space in your own mind and heart to be present to them? That is my challenge to you, not to change your own beliefs, but to create a space to show hospitality in your heart for others. When you are truly present to others, when you let them exist without feeling judgment or fear or anger or superiority, then you practice true compassion. And this is our real calling in the world. No matter what else you will be doing on the grand scale of human achievements, the goal of this life is to become more compassionate every day with whomever is around you. And that's the hard part, right? Because sometimes you don't like the people who are around you. You might have someone in the cubicle next to you who only wants to show you pictures of her 20 cats. You might have a roommate who blasts big-time Rush for 12 hours a day. Or You might have someone close to you who disagrees with your deepest beliefs, but be present to them. Find hospitality in your heart. This is your work, to be joyful, to be grateful, to be kind, even when it's not easy. These qualities are not determined by your outside surroundings. They come from inside you, and that is the true measure of this life. While you are achieving all the great things that you are going to achieve, and they will be great, and they will be many, what kind of a person are you? Are you a person of compassion and of presence to others? I challenge you to live a life of Xenia of the heart. I'm going to give you one last homework assignment. Those of you that had me know that I love to do that. It has 3 parts. Number 1, read books, especially stories. We are storytelling creatures. The earliest writings in the history of the world are stories. That's how we're wired. That's how we think. It's why you can binge watch The Office for 6 hours straight. We love stories. Reading cultivates not only intelligence, but empathy and compassion. It's how you can learn about those who are different from you, and every other human is different from you in some way. I know you won't have time to read. Do it anyway. Number 2, be silent every day. Take some time every day to be quiet. This will be easier for some of you than for others. I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are. Be quiet and still, not just physically quiet, but mentally quiet, emotionally quiet, electronically quiet. Get off Snapchat and Fortnite. Sorry, that was actually just for my own sons. They're supposed to be here somewhere. When your mind is quiet, you will experience presence, and in presence there is peace. If you want peace in the world, you must find peace within yourself. You will not have time to do this. Do it anyway. And number 3, practice gratitude, and I mean practice it like a sport. Because it's easy on days like today when the weather is relatively nice and everyone's here and everyone's so happy. But every day, every moment, there's thousands of things to be grateful for. From your health to what you ate at your last meal, to the people that made your clothes, to the fact that you have clothes. There's an unending list of gifts within every moment, and your job is to see it. But you have to deliberately practice. We're so busy in our lives that if you wait to feel gratitude, it's not going to happen. You could keep a gratitude journal. Or when you're waiting in line, instead of checking your phone, you could mentally list 10 things that you're grateful for. Personally, I set alarms on my phone to go off at random times during the day. I realize this is extremely dorky. I have 3 younger brothers, and we're all in our 40s. Sometimes at family gatherings, when we're all together, my phone will go off, and my brothers will say, "What's that?" And I'll say, "That's my gratitude reminder." And they say, "You are such a dork." And I feel gratitude that they haven't changed in 40 years, and we're all still doing what we do. When you get to a space of gratitude, you get to a space of joy. And when you live in a space of joy, the whole world opens up to you. And this is what I wish for you, class of 2018. A life of achievements and chaos, yes, but even more so, a life of deliberate joy. So choose compassion, choose presence, choose gratitude, and find joy. Thank you. Congratulations, 2015.
Thank you, Ms. Prile, for that inspiring address. I think I speak for the entire class when I say we're extremely grateful that you are here tonight. Good evening, friends, family, and fellow students. My name is Pari Pancholi, and I'm the president of the National Honor Society of the class of 2018. When I was voted into office, I was under the impression that I would not have more than a few words on this stage, and I was thankful. I'm generally not keen on speaking to a large crowd like this. However, when Mr. Snyder asked if I would introduce our valedictorian, I was thrilled and honored that I would have the opportunity to speak about one of my most remarkable peers. Throughout my 4 years of high school, I've been afforded some one-of-a-kind opportunities, like AP Physics with Dr. Stroyan and AP Biology with Mrs. Moss, both of whom taught me that there's a small comfort in knowing you're going to fail an exam. But one of the things I'll cherish most about high school is the friendships I made. I've met incredibly kind and unique individuals whose friendship carried me through the turbulent path that is high school. And I'm proud to say that one of those individuals is being honored here tonight for her extraordinary accomplishments over the past 4 years. The word valedictorian evokes a very specific image. We think of a bookish individual, one who is exceptionally brilliant and hardworking with an unparalleled work ethic. They do not necessarily go through every class with ease while others may struggle, but they excel in understanding, absorbing, and synthesizing the high volume of information we receive in the classroom. This individual exemplifies what it means to be a valedictorian, while also redefining the limits of a full-time student. Our valedictorian pushes herself to the edge of her limits, inside and outside the classroom. In her 4 years, she's taken the most rigorous courses the district has to offer and excelled with grace and humility. She dominates as a cross-country and track runner, leading her fellow athletes with wisdom and compassion. All too often, valedictorians seem unattainable, larger than life. After all, they sit at the top of the heap, setting themselves apart every time they ace an exam and ruin the grading curve. This exceptional individual manages to maintain her down-to-earth, sunny, and benevolent demeanor while she transcends every expectation. She pushes herself to reach new heights, inspiring the confidence and ambition in her peers to do the same. It brings so much joy and warmth to my heart to see all her hard work and dedication being recognized tonight. The countless hours she spent poring over textbooks and study guides and lecture notes have finally paid off. More than that, every smile she's given and kind words she shared assured that all of us here today would be excited to cheer her on as she continues to bigger and better things. Everyone graduating today can agree that the 4 years we spend in high school are no cakewalk, and it certainly cannot be done alone. For that reason, the friendships we make are the most important part of crossing this finish line. I have the great privilege of introducing Katie Dammer as the valedictorian of the class of 2018, and more importantly, I have the honor of calling her my friend.
Families, friends, teachers, and administrators, thank you for joining us for graduation this evening. My name is Katie Dammer, and I am very honored to speak to you tonight, for you are here for something special. The last time that this Abington Heights class of 2018 will ever be together in one place. By some standards, we may look like just another one of the many classes to be cranked out of Abington Heights, a school recognized on the state and national level for its achievement. But my opinion is that we are an accomplished, unique group. Almost exactly 4 years ago, I spoke at our 8th grade class day ceremony at Abington Heights Middle School. In some ways, it seems like forever ago. I was significantly shorter, much slower, a little nerdier, and would not believe current me if I told myself about the people, places, and experiences in my life today. Yet somehow it seems like yesterday, and many of you, my friends, as much as you'd like to think differently, still ultimately look like those people you were 4 years ago. Surely you all remember exactly what I said that day, but for the sake of our classmates who have joined us from other schools over the years, I can give a recap. I spoke then about how talented I found our class to be. I pointed out the successes we had already experienced in a number of areas, and I believe this was a sign of even greater things to come. Not to toot my own horn, but I was totally right. In front of me are students who have so much to be proud of. You have made names for yourselves in scholarship, music, technology, theater, art, athletics, service, and leadership. In a world where it is so easy to get distracted, you have made time to find and excel in something beneficial and impressive, and you have brought recognition to our class on area, state, and national levels. Numerous district championships have been won over the past 4 years, many of those teams excelling under the leadership of my classmates. Only 3 times in Abington Heights history have we won not 1, but 2 state championships in 1 year. Trust me, I gave it my all to try to make it 3. WVIA gives 2 awards for outstanding artists in northeastern Pennsylvania, 1 for visual arts and 1 for performing arts. This class took both of those awards this year. There have been 4 extremely successful school plays during our time here. We are also the first senior class in recorded human history to secure a 2nd place finish at Gym Class Heroes. Speaking for myself, I am lucky to have made personal connections with many of you over my 13 years at Abington Heights. It has made me very happy to be your locker neighbor, your lab partner, your classmate, your teammate, and your friend. I am proud to be a Comet, and though I'm representing my class here tonight as a student, I usually get to represent Abington Heights as an athlete. Now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't set out wanting to make this speech about running. I, despite common belief, do spend my time on other things, and I do have other things that I enjoy doing. But running is special to me, and it has taught me countless lessons over the years. You can take them or leave them, but I figured I'd share some with you before we leave tonight because they're very important to my successes in high school, and I value them too much not to share. 1. There is always someone better than you at everything. This should be refreshing, not scary. So be prepared, enter the race anyways, and fear no one. You have intelligence and grit, so never count yourself out, even when it seems others have. 2, not every day is going to be perfect, much less fun, but keep showing up. 3, we can learn more from winning than from losing sometimes. We can learn more from losing than from winning sometimes. 4, constantly improving is far better than being a flash in the pan. 5, you shouldn't love something because you're good at it, but rather the opposite. People see success when they decide they are doing what they love and go all in. 6, when you find something worth doing, it should simultaneously give you more confidence than anything else ever has, yet humble and challenge you. 7, like running and like school too, life makes you honest in the end. If you don't run in the summer, or if you don't read that book that you were really supposed to read for class, it will eventually catch up to you, and you won't be able to convince yourself or anyone else that you prepared in the best way possible. There's just no pretending, and sometimes you simply need to do the hard work. 8, don't be afraid of 110% jumping into something, but never compromise family, friendships, or, more importantly, your own health because you're too caught up in putting your nose to the grindstone. 9, if you are positive, if you are happy to be where you are and you love your sport, your job, your class, your school, people will notice. People don't notice apathy. They notice those who want everyone else to be just as excited about something as they are. And 10, working hard is much easier when we are surrounded by supportive individuals to get us through. Usually we need others to be the best version of ourselves, and that's okay. Comets, not us, but the ones in space, are like that too. Literally speaking, a comet is a collection of ice, dust, gases, and rocks. Lots of people picture them as balls of fire with a long flaming tail. But comets don't have one of those tails, comas they're called, unless they get very close to the sun. And that is when they are at their most brilliant. They need something else to be the brightest. Now, all you comets, what is your sun going to be? I mean to say, what is the thing that, when you get close to it, will make you the best version of yourself? What makes you feel a bit happier, a bit more alive than anything else? As are what we used to feel were endless years of compulsory education and tonight, I hope you have all chosen a path for the next part of your life where the new places, people, and experiences can be your sun. Running has been this for me, but as important as it is, I consider myself even luckier to have found people that make me feel like I am the most fulfilled version of myself. I hope they know how grateful I am for them and their lessons. My parents, who have encouraged me to work hard and discipline myself, yet to never take myself too seriously. My teachers and coaches, who have built me up and made me think I can do everything, yet challenged me to make me realize that anything worthwhile in life takes hard work. My friends, classmates, and teammates, who laugh with me, support me, teach me, and humble me. You have been the suns in my life, and thank you. However, a more important question is, how will you be a sun for others? What talents will you share, and how? In this crowd, I am optimistic that we have empathetic healthcare providers, dynamic performers and artists, ethical politicians or lawyers, and motivating teachers and coaches. Members of this group are going to become compassionate and influential parents, husbands, wives, colleagues, bosses, and friends. May we use the talents and passions we have discovered throughout high school to help other people and to be sons for them too. I do have one final running lesson I want to share. Don't go too fast. You'll regret it in the end. We all know that the world moves quickly these days, and it can be difficult, countercultural even, to take time for contemplation or gratitude. Go slow enough to appreciate your surroundings and make connections, deep, real connections, with more people than you otherwise would. Notice and love the little things, like the daily high school moments that we've seen hundreds of times, but will never be the same again. Not everyone is lucky enough to get new beginnings, but today, friends, we are. This ceremony is called a commencement, not an ending, after all. I have always been honored to be a part of this outstanding group. Abington Heights is an amazing place to learn and grow up, but this talented class of 2018 is ready for the next step. Like comets, we will leave the most distinct trail, make the brightest light, and be the most captivating when we find our sun. Thank you and good luck.
It is now the moment you have been awaiting, the certifying of the senior class for graduation. As principal of Abington Heights High School, it is my pleasure to present this year's graduates. Mrs. Hardaway and members of the Abington Heights District Board of Education, I certify that the students before you have met all of the requirements necessary to receive a fully accredited high school diploma from the Abington Heights School District. At this time, I present to you the graduating class of 2018.
And Mr. Snyder, on behalf of the Abington Heights Board of Education and also on behalf of the entire Abington Heights community, it is my pleasure to accept your certification that the young men and women here tonight have fulfilled their requirements for graduation. It is also my privilege to be the first to congratulate the graduates of the class of 2018. Godspeed.
Catherine Eileen Dammer.
Mateen Kasim.
Marissa Catherine Sunick.
Sienna Rainey.
Liam Neary.
Phoebe Marie Sebring.
Paige Elizabeth Morgan.
Parasima Samir Pancholi.
Kelly Bryn Seachock. Rinad Abdullah Al-Khatani.
Saud Abdullah Al-Khatani.
Lacey Marie Ammenhauser.
Dominic Charles Angelicola.
Emma Catherine Baker.
Cassidy Ann Bartkowski.
Micah James Bayan.
Kira Elizabeth Beckish.
Lauren Elizabeth Bierman.
Joseph Charles Byron.
Alexander Junda B.
Ian Vasil Bickler.
Sandon Tyler Birch.
Savannah Marion Blom.
Christopher John Beauchamp.
Maria Rosalie Bordenero.
Alec William Bradican.
Gavin Kyle Bradican.
Matthew James Brulard.
Abby Francis Brown.
Elena Lynn Ann Brown.
Madeline Elizabeth Brown.
Ariel Lee Burdett.
Julia Grace Burke.
Kyle Patrick Burke.
Ryan Joseph Burke.
William Charles Carey.
Lauren Ann Carroll.
Trisha Rose Couchy.
William Beck Chiquilo.
Timothy Linton Chrisman.
Kyle John Chrysler.
Catherine Claire Clark.
Emily Elizabeth Kloss.
Kyler Austin Cleary.
Ross Alexander Cohen.
Jose Juan Colon Jr.
Skylar Melina Conway.
Christian Anthony Coronel.
Ariel Kimberly Corrigan Mills.
Audrey Elizabeth Cotel.
Cameron Lee Craig.
Sydney Maya Crum.
Jackson McDonald Danzig.
Adam Benjamin Dayak.
Frank Joseph DeFazio.
Ashley Nicole DeRiso.
Aiden Stephen Demkowitz.
Mary Siobhan Dempsey.
Alexander Earl Derry.
Isabel Brooke Dykeman.
Cecilia Ann Donahoe.
Mariah Ann Doherty.
Lauren Michelle Durante.
Casimir Joseph Fantanarosa.
Ashlyn Mairead Fitzgerald.
Evan William Flory.
Skylar Lee Fox.
Matthew Scott Franchetti.
Anthony Edward Frieda.
Trevor John Gabora.
Caitlin Rose Gilhooly.
Brianna Megan Gillow.
Sienna Marie Giordano.
Austin Jesse Glidewell.
Noah Alexander Goloski.
Shaylena Leona Gonzalez.
Joshua Robert Green.
Kaylee Taylor Greenish.
Bristol Susan Grenfell.
Carly Ann Grisanti.
Nathan Paul Gronsky.
Luke Michael Galtieri.
Gregory William Gooditis.
Zachary Lance Gwinnett.
Victoria Charisse Galone.
Margaret Maggie Patricia Hall.
Isaiah Nicholas Hall Grabowski.
Alexander Mitchell Hamilton.
Joseph Anthony Harrington.
Garrett Scott Harris.
Jenna Arlene Harris.
Alexis Christine Hazlitt.
Amanda Kate Hazlitt.
Frederick Lee Hickman.
Christian Lee Hicks.
Cohen Lucas Hodge.
Chelsea Ann Malia Hoffmeyer.
Owen Robert Holland.
Victoria Bryn Hood.
Sharon Jane Houlihan.
Auric Vincent Howells.
Arjun Iyengar.
Tyler Franklin James.
Haley Nicole Jewett.
Ian Christopher Jewett.
Matt Michael Johnson.
Aiden Patrick Jordan.
William Joseph Josephowitz.
Julia Alicia Kasperkovitz.
James Tyler Kazmierski.
Brandon Christopher Kelleher.
Thomas Aquinas Kerrigan.
Nicholas Jack Kester.
Alex Michael Klucher.
Jamie Jacob Canese.
Benjamin David Knox.
Alexis Kuzwara.
Paris Rachel Kohler.
Austin Matthew Kohut.
Kyle David Kostiak.
Hannah Kowalski.
Robert Andrew Krantz.
Alyssa Marie Kresge.
Skylar Madison Krieger.
Cassandra Lee Shazik.
Kaylee Joy Cool.
Devin Reese LaRue.
Thomas James Lacey.
Jonah Michael Lambert.
Theodore Edward Lambert.
Morgan Lynn Landers.
Christopher Gerard Langen.
Jack Alexander Lightcap.
Nicole Pearl Lenhart.
Tyler John Lesjack.
Hannah Lauren Linker.
Alexa Aurora Longcore.
Rachel Ann Laura.
Kira Lukash.
Tara Elizabeth Lyden.
Carolyn Teresa Lyon.
Isabel Kathleen McGregor.
Samantha Elizabeth Mackler.
Cole David Masiak.
Parker Ryan Mayday.
Emily Marie Mahoney.
Joseph Henry Makowski.
Emma Grace Marion.
Christian Joseph Matzo.
Kento Masui.
William Ray McDonald Jr.
Jada Aja McDuffie.
Jasmine Jabria McDuffie.
Megan McGinley.
James Gerald McGurl III.
Dylan Brett McHale.
Molly Catherine McHale.
Colin Patrick McIntyre.
Brian Francis Melliand.
Alexis Lucia Mercado.
Gabrielle Jane Mickno.
Eric Joseph Middleton.
Antonia Veronica Milas.
Clara Joy Miller.
Mackenzie Marie Milo.
Hector Emmanuel Miranda Santos.
Hakik Mirza.
Alexandria Moletsky.
Abigail Elizabeth Molnar.
Dylan Joseph Moran.
Daniel Craig Muller.
Grace Joan Murphy.
Sarah Elizabeth Murray.
Andrew Mark Myers.
Sarah Christine Nealon.
Megan Margaret Noon.
Hallie Elizabeth O'Neill.
Brendan David Orlando.
Nadia Alexis Orr.
Chase McCreary Overholzer.
Mia Quinta Paris.
Parth Pankaj Patel.
Samantha Lynn Petty.
Bianca Marissa Pinero.
Seth Daniel Pollock.
Matthew Dominic Post.
John Robert Rama.
Claire Helen Reed.
Samuel Jack Remus.
Kaylin Patricia Riker.
Ryan Douglas Roberts.
Emily Elizabeth Royce.
Karina Danielle Salerno.
Sage Nicholas Santicero.
Christian James Schimmelfinnig.
Tucker Michael Schimmelfinnig.
Perry Lee Scott.
Jonathan Joe Schaefer.
Mathin Gregory Sherman.
Jonathan Patrick Saleo.
Lauren Elizabeth Simikaski.
Mia Rosalie Smith.
Skylar Elizabeth Smith.
April Marie Solkowski.
Nadia Mary Solon.
Jordan Dune Spat.
Nicole Ann Spencer.
Alexandra Marie Stanton.
Kayla Rachel Steenback.
Samuel Connor Stevens.
Summer Michelle Stevens.
Dakota Kevin Stiles.
Caitlin Grace Stope.
Caitlin Elizabeth Stoughton.
Talia Rose Sullum.
Maria Rose Sutton.
Alana Navina Yasmin Swartz.
David Allen Terhune.
Nicholas Shaw Termini.
Maria Grace Terranoni.
Courtney Marie Toroni.
Adam Parker Treweek.
Daniel Christopher Tershon.
Daniel Joseph Uranowski.
David Lee Erda.
Vincent Anthony Vaccaro Jr.
Anna Camille Van Wert.
Anshul Verma.
Cameron Joseph Vishneski.
Brianna Joe Wallers.
Kimberly Ann Ward.
Alexander Joel Waskovich.
Benjamin Robert Weiss.
Hannah Elizabeth White.
Jeffrey Connor White.
Samantha Elizabeth Wilkerson.
Ariana Elizabeth Weisenburn.
Elizabeth Patricia Wright.
Kira Lane Wodarski.
Jonathan Ross Yoakum.
And Alexandra Mary Zolan.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Abington Heights Board of Education, congratulations to parents, friends, relatives, and supporters of the class of 2018. We will soon finish our ceremony and send our graduates through that gate into a very exciting future, one that will be marked by service to family and service to community. But before the class of 2018 departs, would the following graduate, Luke Galtieri, please stand and remain standing. There's always an element of service to community and country that motivates our young men and women to the calling of military service. That calling to protect our nation continues to be fundamentally important in our dangerous world. So let's conclude this ceremony with a round of applause for all of our graduates in honor of the commitment of those who have chosen to stand up and serve our country.
Class of 2018, please rise again. Now is the moment you've been waiting for. It is time for the turning of the tassels. Please move your tassels from the right to the left. Congratulations, class of 2018. We did it.